Mm-mm-mm. Fight fans, what's good? This was one of the best, highly skilled fights that I have seen in boxing in a very long time. Um, I'm prepping for YouTube and Facebook. What I saw last night, this morning with Triple G versus Derevanyanchenko was what we call they're classes of fight of the year type fights. They're the Gotti Awards, which the fighters were both highly skilled and could fight. And then there are the wars in the phone booths, like you saw last week with Sean Porter and Errol Spence. Now, Errol Spence didn't display his range of skills and techniques on a consistent basis, but he did use a lot of things in spurts. So did Sean Porter. But what I'm going to do is give you guys an insight of what happened, because a lot of you have your own opinions, but what I do is I give you it from a coach's corner, from a professor, someone who teaches. And what sometimes the game happens so fast when you're working in that corner that even the best teachers and cornermen have a hard time processing it, because it's such a highly skilled and competitive bout. And that's what you witnessed last night. So, but before I get started, I like to introduce myself like I always do. My name is Eric A. Bradley, aka I'm the real fight doctor, and there is no other on this level, because I do this for real. So, back to the topic at hand. Um, what you witnessed last night, for those of you who watch the zone, which I have a hard time with catching up with the zone. Their stuff's just not visible enough. Knowing when fights are happening, they need to get tied to a network if they plan on staying around. That's my honest opinion. But Derevanyanchenko came out a little slow, but I tell my fighters always to fight within yourself. That means go out there with the confidence already intact. Go out there with the plan already intact. Go out there ready to set your jab, establish your distance, let your hands go straight out of the gate. Only you believe in you enough to do what you need to do. And if you don't, then may the other man take it right out of your pocket, empty your pockets of change, and totally rob you of what you got coming. And that's exactly what happened. That was the difference in the fight in their eyes. But that wasn't the difference in the fight in my eyes. When I saw Derevanyanchenko come out, and he was very timid and he was kind of going into the spell. So I'm going to break it down. This first segment is going to be what his strategy looked to be. His strategy looked to be to feel Triple G on what he would do first, which you have to fight. When you go out to fight, you have to fight within yourself. Like I said, you got to go out with the confidence intact. You got to let your hands go. You got to let the guy know what you're coming with. What you have to do is keep the game plan behind what you train your muscle memory to be. Muscle memory is something that a lot of you don't understand. There's been people say, hey man, you put out so many skills and stuff, I'm learning so much from you. And I'm saying, yeah, you're learning from what we call a frontal cortex, meaning being able to remember your ABCs. That's frontal cortex. That does not matter in the ring. I always send out warnings. Do not take the stuff that you see me doing and saying, hey, I learned this from you, because you didn't. The thing that matters most inside of the ring is the muscle memory. If I put 20 skills down on our page, whether it's on YouTube or whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, that one skill does not go into muscle memory because you go into the gym and throw catch, boom, boom, go to the body, come to the head, show your head movement, pop, pivot, step around and throw the jab. It's not there because you did that, because you actually executed the drill. Let me hit you upside the head with a hammer and see if you can do that. Then, see, that's the difference between a skill, knowing a skill, and it being embedded in your muscle memory. And that's one of the reasons a lot of you fighters get it wrong. A lot of you coaches get it wrong. And at the end of the day, what happens and what matters most is the jab, the footwork in a fight. That's what it went back to. Triple G was directed by Coach Banks to get back to the jab, start sticking it. That's the only thing. The basics always reside. And I knew this would come to a place where Triple G would have to wake up and realize this dude is better. What you witnessed last night, now in this sector, I'm going to break down what it is you witnessed. After Triple G jocked him like in the first or second round, Derevanyanchenko at that point realized this is a real fight. He got on his bicycle and he started doing what I'm positive that their game plan was actually there to do by getting on top of his game, boxing, and after he threw the hook, he always stepped around on the angles and raked the body. Boom, and he was punishing Triple G to the body. That's what you call working off of angles. I always try to, I come to you in more of a preacher's standpoint where I try to advise you the direction, not just the skill set, but the direction. My advice is always don't take the skills that you're seeing. Take the process that we're teaching. When we created like the School of Boxing for that, for your guys to see the daily process and how to embed the muscle memory of the real things that matter in the fight. It's a funny thing. A guy reached out on Instagram talking about he's been practicing the peekaboo. And I'm just like, if there's no one telling you, no, don't move your head that far, or don't move your head that short, or don't move your head back like this or that, then you're just learning a bunch of wrong stuff. So if you get in the ring, if I was to invite you over here, and it always happens 100% of the time, every time guys think they can go ahead and they can do that, what we do is when you come in, we always have to pull back on them because I don't edify punishing someone. So what I do see is with the same thing I see in Triple G last night is sometimes you think you a lot better than you are and you're not, because you can't just go pick up a football and run a 99-yard touchdown because you can run in the backyard. Man, athletes that fight professionally are more dense than you because they do it every day. They do so many things. Like you couldn't keep up with no basic class. You guys who are out here training at home by yourself, talking about your learning, I beg to differ. 100% of you will come over to the gym and you'll get in there and you'll get exposed within 16 seconds, totally wide open, your head bust wide open on the canvas. Because this is not a game. You don't play boxing. It's a reason why there are very few people and names that you even know in the sport of boxing. Because the rest of them are kind of seeing themselves in a light that they're not really in. And that's one of the things that even Triple G learned last night. When you got a fighter who can work off the jab and come off and work to the sides and come up and work in body head, Derevanyanchenko, to me, displays something that most fighters are only delusional at thinking they can do. That's kind of what it is, man. You cannot do this kind of thing without the constant. My fighters will comment and they'll drop down in the comment box that we work on skills, each skill, a 90-day period of time, 3-4 months, just so if you get hit and you rock, you can kind of move in that manner in which you learn. Just to make it clear, you can only obtain 3 new wrinkles in your game over the course of your career. After you've reached your pinnacle, you can only obtain 3. The muscle memory, the brain span, what's in the body, it can't handle anymore. All of you who are on that timeline trying to learn all of these different things, you're learning it for nothing, because you get in the ring, you'll get smacked around like Floyd did that little kid from over in Tokyo. That's what will happen to you, because you're only showing that you can demonstrate the skill, but you can't execute it in a fight. That's why fighters always feel so confused whenever they are in a boxing ring and they on a stage like they were last night. Triple G thought he could handle what Derevanyanchenko brought to the table, but look what happened to him. Triple G got taught a lesson. He said it last night himself. Like, yo, I learned I know what I got to do now, but really what he got to do now is go thank the judges for giving him that fight, because he did not win that fight. The crowd booed the entire time he was having his interview, and that's kind of what it is in the sport of boxing. So I always say, don't think about the skills that we're dropping. People always ask, hey, you put so much out there. Golly, what could they learn? They can learn the process, man. And I will not teach you if you're a cat at the crib unless you're learning self-defense. I will not teach you the skill set that most of these guys are wanting to obtain if you're not proving that you are willing to follow the process, because I don't want you getting hurt. And what the process will do is it will embed the muscle memory. So that's why we have the Master Boxing Academy, and coming in late October, the School of Boxing, which is basically in the academy you learn the skills development, and you can learn the styles. But in the School of Boxing, what you're going to learn is just like being at Harvard University. You're going to be able to learn the process of how day to day how to really embed those skills into your muscle memory, and it's just repetitive. So what you see is what you will get, and that comes without a price tag. So we will never waver off of that, because we're giving you something from a university standpoint, just like you would if you were going to school to be a surgeon or a lawyer, or one of the top guys in Silicon Valley. That techie degree is a big deal these days. So is the science of boxing. And when I saw last night, Derevanyanchenko was very impressive. And the way he moves his hands on the inside, it's kind of what we call in the sport, the manner in which you walk that line is the manner in which you'll receive that medal. And how he walked that line, he proved that he had a whole lot more, and Triple G got pushed back. He looked old. He looked like he was surviving, because all of the things that I just said were actually the case. He was all of the above. And he knew that when he got his hand raised last night, that was his gift from God. And Derevanyanchenko, he has the necessary muscle memory to take anybody into deep water and drown them. And if you're in that weight class, you need to stay away from them, because what I witnessed last night, the sidestep, the stepping around, the raking to the head and the body, the keeping his hands moving, that's muscle memory. That's what anybody's going to have to deal with. And he was able to do it under extreme circumstances, dealing with one of the top fighters in the boxing game today. So just take this word as I say it, man. We offer a platform for all of the ones that really understand. If you want to have that hand skill, that footwork ability, similar to what you saw last night with Derevanyanchenko, then you follow the process and continue to follow us at Master Boxing across the board. This is the School of Boxing, where you're going to get your master's degree. And trust me, it will be shocking to those who have an opponent in front of them, and knowing you have the process. Hats off to Triple G for executing what he needed to do to come away with the victory last night. But Derevanyanchenko is one of the best fighters in the game today, hands down. And we tip our hat to him. To me, that was what you call a fight of the year. All of the stakes set on board. Everything's push your chips to the middle of the table. And that's it, man. Until next time, continue to follow or subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel. If you like to see that boxing skill and have the fight breakdowns like we do. You over here on Facebook, you know how we keep it popping. We keep it blessed at God's speed. Until next time, Coach Bradley signing out, a.k.a. The Real Fight Doctor. Share the post, tag a friend, and let's talk some boxing. It's going down. Remember, if you want to learn that boxing, join the School of Boxing Online Academy. We in the building. Peace. Boom!